Hello, Janeway here. Wanting to talk about a game that I just completed playing last week, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Um, Now, this game has had mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people liked only parts of it, some people did not like it at all. Um, and so I'm going to talk about a couple or three key things that stood out to me in the game that is worth noting and how I feel about that. So, first off, I have up here the skill tree for the main character. At least this is for the mage because I always play magic, or almost always play magic. And as you can see, it's a lot. They give these broad headers talking about like control, burst, sustain, that kind of thing. But it's really challenging to get down into the weeds and actually figure out what you want to do. In comparison, the companion's skill tree is very simplistic, more like semi-akin to what has been done in previous Dragon Age. Not in this style per se, but you pick a specialization. In this case, it's a skill, and you have a tech tree that can support that kind of skill. Valara has a heal. You can select to give it a healing bonus. You can use it to help load up the main character's ultimate move, give it enough energy to use it. Using it on the NPC or using it on yourself gives you extra conditions, that kind of thing. So, I'm okay with how they set up the NPC skill tree. The actual main characters was, to me, pretty convoluted. Let's take a moment now and talk about the story. So I thought the main story was great. There was a lot of effort put into that main story, and it was story rich, and you could tell. So, I was happy about that. Companions was mixed, so some had good story arcs, and some were kind of blah. And the majority of the side quests felt pretty fluffy, just like fillers. There are a few notable exceptions. So if you're working with the Antivan Crows, you're helping find a traitor, and you're helping them deal with the traitor and all that kind of stuff. There were a few quests like that were kind of story rich. On the flip side, some were just look for this lost treasure, or go do this grunt work, that kind of thing. And it didn't feel, it didn't have the same feel as a lot of games when it comes to other quests to do. At least there's some effort to make it a mini story arc or something, and a lot of these did not have that. The combat system was interesting. I'm not in combat right now, obviously, but a lot of what you ended up doing in I can't do it in the city or in our lighthouse. That's fine. Anyway, a lot of what you did, at least for a mage in combat, was a lot of dodging and occasional spell work. The staff played a bigger role, in my opinion, or the weapons, because you could also have a sword and orb. I stick with staff because I'm traditional. You did the majority of your damage through that. main characters, especially at the beginning, didn't have a lot of mana, so they could cast like maybe like one spell that consumes mana every minute or 90 seconds or something like that, depending on how quickly you go up the recharge, how fast you get a recharge skill and or increased mana skill. And those were few and far between. So that was a little. It was a very interesting combat system for a mage, but it's nowhere near like a traditional mage spell slinger. It was more of like more akin to like a rogue where you're trying to do a lot of evasion and then getting a hit every now and then. If you saw any of my videos while streaming Dragon Age, you can see this in abundance. Moving on, this is going to be the final point that I make. One of the major criticisms was that everything you did in the past 3 games didn't matter for this game. And so traditionally in Dragon Age, what you did in the first one has some sort of impact on the second one. What you did in the first and second one had some impact on the third one. But for the fourth one, they made the decisions for you and like didn't take into account. So a big example of this is the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor appears a few times in this. And the Inquisitor is an elven female who fell in love with Solus. So if you know about romance in the third Dragon Age, that was the only combination that could possibly fit for Solus to fall in love with you. So you know, it fit the kind of story arc throughout the game in that sense, but it didn't, like, that was pretty much kind of like it. Like, the Inquisitor didn't play a big role other than saying, hey, we support you, and, you know, what you do in the north gets us in the south, you know, very happy and hope and all that kind of stuff. So if the Inquisitor played a bigger role in terms of like interacting with Solus, I could see forcing the Inquisitor to be a female elven in this game who had a romance with Solus, but she was just there like a couple of times. She sent like a couple of memos. We met her once. Near the end, she popped up, but didn't really do much. And so like she kind of was like super background, not really involved in any way, shape, or form. And so, you know, if that was one of the main reasons that they didn't allow what you'd done previously to impact this game, that reasoning doesn't seem to hold up, doesn't seem to be like what you would, is not needed, because it has so little impact. And so, I believe they said that there's going to be a 5th Dragon Age, and it's going to take into account decisions from the previous ones. They were apologetic for that, but still, it kind of took away from the game a little bit, in my opinion, especially since there were several people from previous Dragon Age games that appeared, and having their story arcs from previous games impact them would have been really nice to have. So that's about it in terms of like my main points that I have about this game. Like, if I had to put it on a scale of like maybe 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like maybe a 6. Because again, the main plot was like really story rich, which was important to me. But the other stuff was kind of lacking to some degree. Like, the combat system was interesting because it was novel, but, like, having to dodge around for 90 seconds and slinging an occasional staff bolt was not quite enjoyable, and having very little spells in terms of how many you could have active or used during a fight, and how long it would take for them to be able to be used again, was also sad to me. So there were some good points, there were some bad points. If you want to check out the game, go ahead, but go in with the understanding that it's different from the previous 3 Dragon Ages, and some of those things that one would expect, it's simply not there. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the below. I'll keep an eye out for them. Until if you are interested in watching my stream, of course, feel free to see me on Twitch. The thing will be, the link will be in the description. And again, hope this was useful, and I hope to see you in future videos and or streaming. Take me out.